The scathing new report on the police response to the Uvalde school shooting massacre. This report coming from the Advanced Law Enforcement Rapid Response Training Center, a report requested by the Texas Department of Public Safety, finds several missed opportunities to try and stop the shooter. Among the findings here, a Uvalde police officer apparently had the gunman in the sights of his rifle before he went into the school, but waited for permission to shoot from his supervisor. This officer apparently turned his head to get a response, looked back at the shooter, and the gunman had already gone into the building. The report also finds that the responding officers, quote, lost momentum after taking gunfire from the shooter, despite more weapons, tear gas, etc., arriving on scene to help bolster the law enforcement response. The report's also critical of the responding police officers for not finding other ways to get into that classroom, like maybe break a window, bust in through sheetrock, etc. The conclusion, according to this report, and I'm reading from it directly, quote, while we do not have definitive information at this point, it is possible that some of the people who died during this event could have been saved. I'm joined now by Texas State Senator Roland Gutierrez. Thank you very much for being with us. And I have to start with your reaction to some of the findings laid out in this new report just made public this afternoon.
Well, certainly very concerned about what we've seen. A lot of it we've already seen through different reports, whether it was a Senate hearing or other statements that have been made in the media. At the end of the day, this report is a lot inconclusive, and it leaves a lot of answers still left unanswered, a lot of questions still left unanswered. So it's my hope that as we move forward in whether it's our lawsuit or getting more information from DPS, we'll get the full picture of what went on. It really lies in stark contrast to what we saw in Chicago, in the Chicago area, where you're having briefings every 30 minutes by law enforcement. That didn't happen here.
One of the reasons why this report is so newsworthy is because, as, for example, some of the local reporters that we've talked to on MSNBC about this report have pointed out, that while Police Chief Pete Arredondo has faced a lot of the criticism for the response, this report also has some criticism for the rank-and-file officers who arrived on the scene. I'd like to hear from you on that and what you and other state lawmakers should do now that this is in your hands, this report.
Yeah, if you go to one of the last few pages of the report, it also indicates that there was a training issue, that we train our officers with shooting within 100 yards. And this was indicative of that. This was at 150 yards. Of course, he had previously testified that there had been a length of time and that there was some distance and possibly some kids in the background. Again, putting this on one person is a real problem for me. We had 12 officers from the Department of Public Safety. This report was ordered by the Department of Public Safety to this nonprofit. It mentions DPS only 5 times, and one time really quite glowingly. There was 12 officers in that hallway from DPS. Not to just point at them, but there was 8 different agencies. What happened here was entire system error, violations of protocol at every level, and just failure, law enforcement failure at every level.